so I know the lighting's not really good, but I wanted to share an idea that I was having as I was driving into work. Just got home from a nice camp trip vacation with the family, hence the little scruffiness. I have not shaved for just a few days and got kind of lazy, didn't want to shave today. So anyway, driving in, I was thinking about the differences on the Porsche 996 and the 997 model, as there's been times I've looked at upgrading from my 996 to one of the newer ones. But the more I drive the 996, the more I realize I think this is going to be that budget Porsche, that there's just some things on this car that I like better than the newer ones. And I'll give you one example. As I drive, if you see the side rest here, there's this little concave part in the door. I love to rest my elbow right inside there, and the newer models don't have that, and I've driven them and I think that's kind of annoying for me personally. The other thing is, I think some of the build quality in the interior is maybe not as nice, which is surprising because it's a newer model. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the knobs in a lot of the 997 body style vehicles, actually even in the Cayman and the 911, all those, but these knobs, the material wears off, and therefore you get this silver type of you know, it just turns black. It doesn't have that silver coat on it anymore. And this, I think, is still pretty nice. I mean, this is a 1999, therefore it's a lot older, and I think the material is holding up a lot better on this. The other thing is, yes, these have the IMS bearing issue, but a lot of times people just replace that when they get ready to do a clutch. And if you do your oil change often enough, you can kind of keep an eye on it just to make sure that you're not getting into those metal shavings. You know, you can use the magnet oil plug and a variety of those type of things too. You kind of do get a little warning from what I've heard in the motor. You know, it starts to run really rough, just stop and get it fixed at that point if you haven't had the IMS bearing fixed. But otherwise, get the IMS bearing fixed. You can pick these up for a really good deal right now. I've seen these go for you know, under $14,000. Higher miles, yes, you can get really nice ones for in the 20s. So for $20,000, I think you get a really nice car. This one of mine, I don't know if you can really even tell, but you can see maybe right down there. I've got 108,000 miles on mine right now, and I gotta tell you, this has been one of the most reliable vehicles I've had, and most of the maintenance I've been able to do. I don't, you know, as you've seen my other videos, I'm not a mechanic. I know enough to kind of get me into trouble or out of trouble, whichever way you want to put it. But you can still work on this car. It's not overly complicated, especially with all the YouTube channels that have ideas of, you know, how to fix this or that. And you know, I may have showed you my simple little hack on the air vents. That's one thing that kind of drives me crazy on these model Porsches, is the air vents kind of droop, and I just used a little bit of Velcro, the fluffy side of the Velcro, and it's out of sight. You can't see it. It holds it up. They don't droop anymore. Simple fix. The other thing that is notorious on these are the visors. The visor flap always falls off, but you know what? That doesn't bug me that much because I really don't use the visor that much, just for the mirror. And if you do in these vehicles, it's such a small mirror, it doesn't really do much for you anyway. Hopefully this is helpful. I think if you're looking to get into a Porsche and you want one that is fun to drive, still has decent performance for the age, this is a bargain deal, and you can get a lot of car for your money. There's a lot of aftermarket parts that you can buy. If you want to do some upgrades, you can, you know, obviously wrap the car. You can put spoilers on it, you can get exhaust for it, you can lower it, you get different wheels. I mean, just the wheels alone, I think, update this car immensely. So, just a quick little video of thoughts that I had driving into work today that I wanted to share with you. Once again, I am sorry for the quality of the video just because of the lighting in here is pretty dark, and I'm now driving down one of the bumpiest roads on the way to my office. So, as you can see, it is not a really nice road, but this road doesn't have all the construction on it, which is why I'm using it. Yeah, right now the other main road on the way to my office has a bunch of road work going on, and that's even more annoying because it goes down to one lane and lots of traffic. So, all right, until next time, if you like, please subscribe, like, give me comments, other things that you'd like to see. Really appreciate you guys watching my channel, and I will continue to bring updated information as I think about it, or if you guys give me comments and you want to hear on certain things, I'll mention that as well. Thanks again. Okay, so I had another thought and another complaint that I've heard a lot of people on the 996 body style Porsches, and that is their headlights. The fried egg headlight, as you probably have heard. But, you know, the reality is it's still got the round headlights, it just has an extra part hooked to it. So is it really that bad? I don't know if it is. Is it worth spending an extra $10,000 to $15,000 on a newer model? Well, that's a decision I guess you're gonna have to make. Is the performance that much better? Probably not. Is the interior quality that much better? Well, as I just explained, probably not. And if you got an extra $10,000 or $15,000 in your pocket, I look at it as, hey, that's a lot of money I can use for upgrades on my current car. So that way you can do exhaust, you can do wheels, you can do suspension, or whatever else you'd like to do. So hopefully that helps. I don't think that the fried egg headlight is that big of a deal, but some people really hate it. And yes, you know, it's not an air-cooled Porsche, but then again, you're looking at a third of the price, maybe half the price, depending on the condition of the vehicle you're looking at versus, you know, one of the air-cooled. And the performance is better. I think it's probably better. Yes, maybe you're not as connected to the road, you know, that's not that driver's car, there's more mechanical assistance in the newer models. But I'll tell you what, as a daily driver or just driving more often, I think you got a lot more creature features. The air conditioning actually works, and those are some things to consider. So there you go. Okay, so as I was discussing earlier about the 996 Porsche 911, here's one right here if you can see it. The interesting thing, this is on bringatrailer.com. I'm not getting sponsored by them at all, but compare it over here to this Acura NSX. The Acura NSX, don't get me wrong, is a beautiful car. I've always loved the lines, the body of that car, the reliability of it, but are you getting that much more of a vehicle? I mean, look at this. In the last 10 minutes I've been watching this vehicle. It went from $37,000 up to $48,000, and it's still going. Here is a 99 that has had a lot of the work already done, and yeah, the paint isn't perfect on it, but you know, on both these vehicles they're going to be, you know, little rock chips and things like that. But for the most part, this car right now is still under $17,000. Has 19 seconds left. Let's see if it actually ends or if it continues to go up. If it actually ends right around here, around $17,000, oh, there we go. Jump back up, so we got another 2 minutes on it. So my guess is that car at least is going to go for less than 20, and that's, well, $28,000 or so less than what the Acura is going to go for. So what could you do with an extra $28,000? Performance-wise, they're going to be very, very comparable in a 0 to 60 time frame. Handling, very comparable. NSX is a mid-mount engine, as you guys know, rear engine on the Porsche, but the Porsches are designed to just handle great on a track. I personally track my car, and the thing is, it probably well, it can perform better than I can actually handle. I'm still obviously learning, and there's a lot that I can learn to know the limits of that vehicle. So let's watch this for a little bit, and we'll just kind of see where these two end up. But you know, it is a personal preference. If you actually just don't like the body style of the Porsche, that's one thing. If you just really like the NSX style, but I'm looking just at bargain price, you know, most bang for your buck. I think you get a whole lot of car for the 911, and it's kind of like a gentleman's car. I kind of put it in there with, you know, the Aston Martin. May not be the quickest of cars, most exotic looking of cars, but they are comfortable to drive. You know, it's not a pain to get in and out of, and you still have great performance. Alright, for a 20-year-old car, let's see what we got here. We got 20 seconds. They're both running down to the end of the clock. We'll see if anyone else bids. Alright. So far, we're good. Final countdown. 3, 2, 1. Bingo. Okay, so the 911 sold for that $17,400. Let me know in the comments, what would you guys do? Would you actually spend the $17,400, have money left over for repairs, modifications, updates, whatever you want to do, or would you be buying the NSX for $20,000, $21,000 more, and 4, 3, 2, 1, 48.5 is what the NSX went for. So there you go. Fun auction site to watch if you guys want to look at it. Bringatrailer.com, and you just go to the results. You can actually see what a lot of cars have sold for in the past as well, so you can get some good history. Okay, so here's another one. It's Porsche Boxster S, $12,599. That one just sold for. This is the 986 model. Another good bargain. And where can you find a sports car for, you know, a Porsche, for that matter, for less than $13,000? I owned one of these before I owned my 911, and it was a great car. Mine was the Tiptronics. This is a 6-speed. I would prefer the 6-speed. My only complaint, you know, this also has the IMS bearing issue, but you can get that taken care of. The back window is a plastic back window in the older Boxsters, and then they went to a glass window. But beyond that, what a lot of car for $13,000. And as I kind of mentioned in one of my other videos, the insurance on these, depending on how you want to insure it, I have mine on a collector's policy. That way I'm limited to the miles I can drive each year, but I don't drive it every single day, and even if I did, I could still drive, I think it's like 6,000 miles or so a year, and I don't typically drive that because I usually only drive it, you know, two times a week, something like that, to work. And then sometimes during the summer, then track events. But excuse me, because of that, the insurance is cheaper on my Porsche than any of my other vehicles. In fact, my annual cost is less than what most of my others cost on an every 6-month basis. So, another thing to think about.